Minecraft 1.21.2 recently dropped, finally adding bundles to the game. Only took them 4 years. It also adds new banner patterns, baby dolphins, baby squid, and ender pearls now low chunks. So today I'm going to make new farms in my hardcore world, such as a bundle farm, a farm which collects wind charges in stasis, an armadillo farm. No, don't worry, no armadillos will be harmed. In fact, I'm going to make 16 farms, one for every color in Minecraft. Starting with brown for the bundle. My plan is to make each farm exactly one chunk in size, as you can see. And to craft a bundle, we're going to need string and leather. As you can imagine, cows are going to be one of the easiest ways for me to get one of those items. There we go. And when it comes to string, there are a few different methods, such as farming spiders, but I'm going to do it a different way. You see, if I take a cobweb and brew a potion of weaving, now I can splash a mob with it, take them out, and generate cobwebs. And with the right materials, we can use that mechanic to get a load of string. Everything that I need is right here. I'll start by breeding both of these guys. We're going to need plenty of cows for this. And then I shall start off by building the cow breeding mechanism. The entire bundle farm is going to involve an auto crafter, so they can actually create the bundle for you. These hoppers are going to be the collection system that sends leather into it. This right here is a little auto sorter, and it's going to have leather, because I'm not interested in collecting up the beef. Now, I'm going to add in some water and do my best to use the leads to get these fellas in. Okay, well, that one was very, very easy indeed. That's a good start. This one, on the other hand, oh, it was also easy. I was going to say that I thought this guy was in the way, but he wasn't. And the baby's now in as well. Perfect. From there, I just need to try and put a fence gate on top so that they don't keep bouncing around, although they're all bouncing the way. Do you guys mind? You know what? Forget this. It's time for plan B, where I just use a piston to push the fence down. There we go. Now let's see you escape. I'm also going to make it so that this platform is a little bit thicker. It'll just help further down the line for the next part. There we go. And of course, to make a bundle, you need leather and string. I'm pretty happy with the leather department. That's all working nicely. And whilst the spider farm would be the way to get string, doing that on this little platform is a little bit tricky. But don't you worry about that, because I have another plan that uses allays to build a string farm. I'll just get a couple of them on the lead. Do I want the ones with cakes? Not really, they can stay here. I've given them both items, so if I chuck them down there... That's it, both of you get down. Perfect. Oh, well, you managed to escape. Well done. Take two, though. They're both in this time. And to get string, these little fellas are going to get me silverfish. The water right here is going to push everything that way. And I also need to waterlog the slab so that these fellas will be taking drowning damage and will float upwards. There we go. I know it's kind of evil, but they regen so fast it's alright. We can add in the roof. And if I fill this dispenser with infested potions and splash them, you shall see we get silverfish. There we go. And so now we need the mechanism that turns the silverfish into string. Again, kind of cool. And it initially involves powered rails with an activator one at the top, which will eject the silverfish onto a magma block. Now, to make sure that a cobweb can't spawn where the silverfish are ejected, we're going to put a carpet right there. And this redstone block will activate that so that it'll eject them. Now, we need the mechanism that's going to break the cobwebs that will generate on this block and this block. To do that, we're going to use pistons. And those pistons, when they break the cobweb, will push the string into the hopper. To make sure it doesn't escape, we'll have a glass up here. But now we need to know what's going to make the pistons extend. A calibrated skulk sensor, that's what. But at the moment, you can see it's picking up all the vibrations from everything that's going on. We need to make it so it only detects one thing. And that is when a player or a mob dies. Now, I'm in hardcore. I ain't dying anytime soon, hopefully. But, well, maybe at 10,000 days. But every time a silverfish dies, it has a chance that it'll create some cobwebs, so we want the piston to extend every time a silverfish dies. To do that, I'm going to completely fill a barrel up with items, and now it's got that much power going into it that it'll only detect mob deaths. Next, we add some repeaters and a minecart right here, and we can actually see the farm in action. So if I go and flick that down, it'll, there we go, eject the silverfish onto the magma, and whenever they die, a cobweb gets produced, and both pistons should be pushed. I am an idiot, though, and didn't put redstone along here. There we go. Now, every time, it's breaking if a cobweb is there, which is absolutely perfect. As you can see, it doesn't produce a cobweb everywhere every time, but sometimes you get two. And all the string is going into this dropper, but we now need to make it so that the auto crafter turns them into bundles. So, yeah, we've got to make a few changes here. To do that, we only want the droppers to put items in the crafter when there is leather in there and string in there. Otherwise, it's going to put string into both slots. So we go ahead and go like that and make all the torches powered. These will only now switch on when items are in this dropper and in this one. So you can see, it gets you a decent amount of string for the amount of bundles we need, more than enough. But as you can see, it's also ejecting into there ahead of time. So what I want to do now is have 3 string, and in this slot, 3 leather. But for that to work, I need more cows. Yeah, I need you guys to speed up. We need 24 in total. And whilst I keep breeding these until I've got enough, I might as well tell you guys about my new merch. It's a new winter sweater, which I think looks very cool, and it's available on sp737.store. Or if you prefer, there's also a fancy mouse mat with the same design, which I also really love, and if you buy them both together as a bundle, you'll get a very nice discount on both. So yeah, head to sp737.store to check them out. And now I have bred enough cows. As you can see, other cows are taking damage as that happens, which is causing leather to go through, and we are getting bundles. We are getting bundles, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, when a piece of leather enters this dropper, it goes straight in, gets crafted, and heads in there. However, if this dropper is empty and a piece of leather goes in, nothing happens. Both of them need to have an item in, then it goes through, and it crafts another bundle. And anytime I need more string, I just press this button, and then I just flick this lever, and the string will be flowing in. And this is also the first time I've ever used bundles. I mean, how useful are they? I guess you can pick up a lot of things in your inventory. I mean, yeah, I'm not against it. A lot of people are like, bundles are kind of useless. But I disagree, and I'm going to show you why they are useful with this next farm. Because I'm going to make an armadillo farm. As I promised earlier, no armadillos will be harmed. And once again, it's going to require quite a few redstone items. And spider eyes. They're going to be pretty useful too. And this is where I think the bundles come in especially handy. You can see I've got all these different redstone items, just like 1 or 2 here and there. I can pick them all up with the bundle and just have so much more space now in my inventory. And if I really want to, I can then put that into a shulker box, giving me even more space, especially if you have loads of like little odd redstone items here and there. It can really start to save your space. This is just a nice little black border so that we can differentiate between the coloured squares. Perfect. The square is complete. And just as a bit of added decoration, I'm going to add some carpets around like this. And then all of these hoppers can point into the double chest. Right here, I'm going to have a dispenser with a double chest on top. And this dispenser is going to be full to the brim with brushes. And straight away, I don't have much space here, but hang on a minute. We could just pick it all up again with the bundles. And now I can craft a lot more at once to fill all of this up. This dispenser has water because I'm going to want to be able to breed the armadillos too. And just dispensing this will mean I'll more easily be able to right click on them all. And this right here will use the brushes in the dispenser on the armadillo to also get me loads and loads of scoops. This should be a great farm. All that's missing is, the armadillos. That's kind of important to the entire thing. I did have an armadillo somewhere that was just wandering around my house, but I've no idea where he's gone. But it doesn't matter too much because I'm pretty sure there's a load above the nether, if I can find them. These guys just seem to wander around way too much. Yeah, I have no idea where they've gone, so it's time for plan B, which is to fly far away, build a portal, track down a savannah, and then grab a couple of armadillos in a boat so that I can take them home. It's actually quite handy that they go into the little ball things because it makes it much easier to push through the portal. And with that, they are now in position. And with just the push of a button, I can have it so they're up here and we can breed more. It's that easy. And these guys are going to be passively dropping scoots all the time that this chest will pick up. However, if I want to speed that process up, we've got these brushes here. We can flick this lever. And as you can see, it's getting so many scoots so fast. Now, it does use up the brushes ridiculously fast. But just look at how many we're getting. Absolutely loads. So, yeah, if I need scoots fast, that is the method. But if I also fill this up with maybe 30, 40 armadillos, then they'll also be dropping them passively as well, which is, cheaper on brushes, isn't it? And with farm number 2 out of the way, I think it's now time to build the next one, which is just going to be very useful. You see, you may or may not have noticed, but I don't really have that much paper, just a load of empty maps. And I don't have any sugarcane either. Yeah, the chests are empty. And whilst I do have this small sugarcane farm that slowly gets me more and more, that too is not really fast enough. Yeah, 30 pieces. But people who've been watching this series for a long time might say, SB, what about this massive sugarcane farm that you built at spawn? Surely that gets you all that you need. You'd think so, but in reality, it's not that great because it just kind of keeps breaking. And whenever I downgrade my world, all of the hopper minecarts get removed as well. So yeah, it's a bit problematic really, which is why I'm going to build a new one that will get me loads of sugarcane. It'll be robust so that it can't break. And I'll add a switch to it so that I can either get paper or sugarcane depending on what I need. Because yeah, if I want to get more firework rockets, having an endless supply of paper is very, very important. There we go. That is every single item. And I'm going to take advantage of this bundle just to save on inventory space. I think that's very good. But pick up all them as well. Yeah, nice. And then this right here is exactly where I'm going to build it. And I'm actually going to start with the redstone down here. The reason for that is because this is all going to be covered up by a sugarcane farm. You're not going to be able to see it. So this is the very simple mechanism that will turn the sugarcane into paper if I want it to. Basically, there'll be a couple of observers here that are just working all the time, trying to power this crafter, but because the crafter is powered by the torch, nothing happens. However, as soon as a couple of items go in, now this torch is off, and the crafter is constantly trying to make something. So that is basically the reason, and we don't even need to have that light, but that is basically the reason that it won't craft sugar, and instead, it'll craft paper. I'm not going to put it in because I don't want that to be used up. And then this lever lets me control whether the sugarcane from this chest will go into the crafter or will stay here. So then I can kind of choose between whether I get paper or sugarcane. Right now, it's sugarcane farm. If I flick that, it's a paper farm. Oh, and I've got some sugar from that too. Just what I didn't want to happen. Now I'm not going to have enough sugarcane to finish the build. Good thing there's some... Oh my god, I did not mean to look at this guy. Mate, I was just looking at sugarcane and you had to look me in the eyes and get all angry, didn't you? Anyway, let's not get distracted. Instead, let's get busy building. As you can see, that is the collection system area. And this entire floor is going to be covered in concrete. And then I can nicely start building up the farm on top of it. It's on top of this dirt that all the sugarcane is going to be planted, and the waterlogged slabs are going to be what allow me to do that. And the way all of these are going to be harvested is by using pistons like this that connect to this observer. Now, this sugarcane is constantly updating. Even when it doesn't grow, it's changing its state, so these pistons will regularly extend. These iron bars in the middle ensure that the sugarcane falls in the water, and then this redstone is what powers all of them. And now I can just repeat what I've just done to add another layer to the farm, and before you know it, it's going to be massive. So yeah, I'm going to get busy and get to work. And it is done. A pretty decently sized sugarcane farm, especially to say that it goes in just one chunk. And on average, it gets me about 1,000 sugarcane per hour, or if I have this lever flicked, it'll get me about 1,000 paper per hour. And on a side note, I feel like I should still be using this farm as well to keep getting as many baby armadillos as possible. And as you can see, the farm is passively getting me more and more scoots as well. Or if we want to speed that up, of course, we can get them that way as well. I also don't know how that guy got in there. I probably should have put some torches down. But anyway, I think it's now time for me to press on and build the next farm, which is an allay XP one. It uses quite a few mechanics that are similar to the bundle one, except this one will get me a load of XP really, really quickly, and it'll be much more effective than the XP rates from the gold farm. And it means I won't have to go to the nether every time I want to get XP either. Got everything I need right here. I'm not going to have to put it into bundles because I've got plenty of inventory space, but I will also need a music disc to actually breed the allays, and I will of course also need one to start everything off. So first things first, let's make the platform for this entire build. And I think this is going to be one of those builds where the platform is a lot bigger than it needs to be for the actual size of the farm. Like the sugarcane one, it fits just nicely. Same for the bundle farm, but the armadillo one is absolutely tiny. Also, whilst we're here, might as well breed a couple more. And then I'll get back to building this platform. Oh my goodness, has this guy got a loyalty trident? Look, it goes back to him, and they fixed it so that now he actually picks it up. It just hit me on the way back. This is crazy. The question is, will he drop it? No, he won't drop it. Anyway, we're going to have a dispenser facing downwards like this. And then I need this little fella to go into that hole for me. There we go. Go on, pick it up. And now you're trapped. It's not the first time I've done that to them, the poor guys. But anyway, next, we're going to go ahead and I need to play. I think I give him an amethyst shard. Have I done that the right way around? And then play the music disc. And it should... Look at him. He's dancing away. And hold on a second, I've done that wrong. Give that back to me. Then when I give it to him, you get 2 of them, okay? And in 5 minutes, I'll be able to get 2 more. I need 24 in total. It'll take me a little bit of time, so, yeah. Time to enjoy the music and get busy breeding. And that is now 24 in total right here, so I can waterlog it and replace this jukebox with a composter. Next, we need glass on top, and I think I'm going to add some concrete around the edge as well, just as an extra decoration. Not really necessary, but I think it'll look nice. And I'm also going to sleep, because this rain is it's just not very nice, is it? This button will splash the allays with the infested effect, and I can add an armor stand here. However, if I was to swipe my sword at it, it would just burn and go. So, oh, well, we lost it. So to avoid that, I'm going to use water. Water and trapdoors as well will come in handy. The trapdoors go like this, with the armor stand right there. And now, I can hit the armor stand and nothing will happen. It won't burn. So, we can go and press that button. Silverfish pop out. And then very, very easily, we will get XP. Just by hitting the armor stand, it takes out the silverfish. And I'm getting XP, which is very useful for repairing tools. Because I certainly don't need more levels, do I? And this farm is going to be very, very useful for the next farm that I'm going to build, because the next farm requires XP. It's always very nice when everything links together nicely, isn't it? This farm is also going to be the white one, so I will need white concrete, but I don't really have enough here. So I'll spend a bit of time getting all of the other materials. That right there is everything, except for 2 minecart hoppers that I'll need. And I could just store all these little materials in the bundle. Oh, it just saves so much space. And I will also need a shovel, which has mending and unbreaking on it. I'm also going to put efficiency as well. Don't really need it, but I might as well because I can afford it. And you know what? I'm going to make it netherite too, because we do have that available there. And I don't know what else I'm going to use the ingots for, so might as well use it on a shovel. The reason I can't use the shovel in my inventory is because this one has silk touch in it. I need one without that. And of course, before I can build it, as I said, I will need a little bit more white concrete. So we might as well fly over the beautiful castle that I built in the last episode. Still can't believe how massive it is, but I suppose I did say I was building the world's largest castle, so I did have to make it large to actually live up to the title. And yeah, I don't know if it actually still works, but this was a concrete farm right here. All the concrete would flow down there and go into this very, very nice storage room. But the question is there any white concrete in the store? Okay, well, guys, we've got plenty right here. I don't know why I've left it. We might as well take it all home. I should also finish this corridor. Man, the amount of things that need finishing in my world, it's quite a long list, isn't it? Yeah, I feel like I'd need 1,000 days to do it all. So it's a shame that I've only got 589 days left. Now, since this farm is going to make use of the XP to repair this shovel quite regularly, I think it makes sense to build it right next to it. So yeah, we're gonna use this spot right here. So right here, I'm going to start with a chest. I just didn't want it to be waterlogged. And then up here, I'm going to have a couple of trapdoors, which will come in handy later. Next, I'm going to add hoppers going into the chest, and these are going to hold all of the snow blocks, because there's going to be a lot of them. Then I need the crafters to actually point into the chest. And this is the cool thing about them adding crafters. It just means that we can basically build so many farms that weren't possible before. I know we could get a snowball farm and manually craft them, but now we can basically get snow blocks straight away. Now to add the system that actually picks up the snowballs. Now I can actually use some blocks that are kind of on theme for this quadrant. White ones. These minecart hoppers will pick up everything really, really fast. Now I'm going to put these trapdoors back, add a slab, and build a bit of a platform. And you know what? There's enough white concrete on this little square, so I'm going to change it to instead be iron. It's still a white block, but it just looks a little bit nicer to have something different. And every time I break blocks above the hoppers, I've got to go into the crafters and pick out anything that fell in. The glass is going to hold a snow golem in position, and now I have only one job, to actually get him to go. I knew this was going to go wrong. You are just so annoying. That's why you've got to be put on a lead, isn't it? Take 2 was quite a bit more successful, even if he has got snow absolutely everywhere. Let's just add a few more blocks here as well. We don't want any of the snow to escape. I'll give my snow golem a bit of a roof, so he's completely safe. I don't know what that does for him, but I do want to just cover everything up, you know, make it look as nice as possible. And I'll also add glass and sea lanterns as well. I also think an item frame for the shovel to go in is a nicer way to store it than just putting it in a chest. But yeah, what I've got to do now is anytime I want to get snow, we just simply go here and we mine away at it. I think we can mine all 3 at once if we're fast enough. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Also, I completely forgot about something in the crafters. Yeah, yeah, they need to be like this. Otherwise, they won't work. They need to be a 2x2 thing. That's how snow is crafted, okay, SB? Rookie error. But look how fast it crafts. I can literally just put the snowballs in, and they're just grafted away nicely in the background. There's even a lead in this one. What's that all about? Let's do the same for this. And we now have a farm that can get me so much snow very, very fast. I think it gets 18,000 per hour. Also, another thing I've noticed, my head's not covered up, okay? I don't want phantoms coming down to get me. So if I go with something like that, and then okay, I don't want to stood too close to pick up the snowballs either, though. That's the other thing. If I chuck them there, as you see, they do get picked up. Then we could just go like that. And after a few minutes, I've got loads of snow blocks. And yes, the durability on my shovel has gone down a bit. But don't you worry, because we can just press this button and repair it extremely fast. So yeah, both of these farms really do nicely go hand in hand. I can get snow and I can get XP. Should probably take as much of this snow home with me as I can as well. Just to beef up my supplies, because you never know when you're gonna need a lot of snow. Huh, that rhymed too. I'm literally a poet and I didn't know it. And one thing I will also say is I'm kind of tired of carrying around this black concrete all the time. I don't even know why I've still got light blue, but yeah, kind of tired of carrying around the black concrete. So I'm going to grab a load of it and mark out the outlines of all of these squares. And with the grid now complete, I'm going to go and get the materials for the next square. That's all the items. I've also got loads in the bundle right there. Right now, I'm doing the light grey one, and it's going to be an iron farm. Mainly because when I'm in this area, I might as well be getting iron, and the iron farm is going to be useful for another farm that I'll be building later on, somewhere over there. This is a nice little auto storage system that will separate the poppies from the iron. Right here is where all of the villagers are going to be. And as you can imagine, it won't be easy getting them up there. But before that, I'm going to make a little staircase, especially since it's going dark. So I'll very carefully lure this guy. Do you mind? You're really ruining it for me. Okay, this is all going wrong now. You need to go. And so do both of you. Then I can lure this guy up here. Okay, he can't get through. That's good. Your mate is going to have to go. And because he's holding a bone, I actually don't need to name tag him, but I will anyway. Look at that. That guy dropped me an iron ingot, which means the first iron of the farm has been obtained. And I do seem to remember abandoning some villagers in this swamp many years ago. I mean, Minecraft years, not real life years. I've only had the world for 4 years. Here he is. How long have you been trapped in that hole, poor guy? I do also think that he may be the only survivor. So that is one boat in. It's certainly easy to do that. Why are you trying to go over there? Don't. Just stay stood still. That guy really is crazy. He's not scared of anything, apparently. Now, for the other two villagers, I'm just going to grab them from this villager breeder that I have at spawn. Just got to land this boat in. Okay, and No, don't die. Come on. I'm so sorry, guys. Maybe we should do this in a safer way and not attempt to fly you guys all the way in. I just killed the other guy. I didn't mean to do that. He walked in the way of the... Are you kidding me? Sorry, guys. Just give me 1 second. And there we go. They're all in. The farm is now complete. And once it's nighttime and all of those guys have slept at least once, then iron golems will start spawning. I'm also going to fill all of this in with light grey concrete, just so that it's the same level as all the other squares. At the moment, yeah, it looks a little bit strange. Yeah, I should probably not let myself drown. It's because I don't have respiration and aqua affinity on my helmet because my best one broke in the last video. Yeah, very annoying indeed. In fact, I think I'm going to solve this problem right now because it is kind of getting annoying and I have 12,848 levels plus an endless supply of emeralds and books. So I can upgrade the helmet pretty easily. And that is another square checked off. As you can see, it is indeed spawning iron golems. And I'll now move on to this one, which is the purple square. So with all the items now either bundled up or shulkered up, and I can put the bundle inside the shulker, which is pretty nice too. I can almost go ahead and build it, but I'm still missing something. Arrows! And now, I did always wonder what I would do with all these arrows from the EOL farm, and finally, I now know. It is kind of cool having a farm that actually uses them, and for the purple one, the big reveal, once I've got all the concrete down, is to say that I'll be building a chorus flower and fruit farm. And yes, technically in my base, I do have one of these. But as you can see, it's not very big. And the only automatic part of it is that it auto-harvests. You've got to plant them and work down and everything. It's just a lot of effort, and you have to make sure you get the flowers yourself. So building a specific farm for it is definitely a good idea. So the way this one works is you'd have the chorus fruit planted there and note blocks on top of each of these observers. You can see when the observer gets triggered, it moves that, which will break the stem of the chorus fruit. And the only way to harvest flowers and actually get the item is either mine them with your fist or use arrows, which is why we've got so many of them. So this is all the redstone for that. And what you do is you place down your flower right there. And eventually it'll grow and activate some of the observers, which will activate the dispenser on that side. And that dispenser is going to be full of arrows. So that makes it AFKable. What I'll do is when it's grown a bit more, I'll show it in action. But right here, we now need to build the actual chorus fruit farm part. And I have to say, I know a lot of people complain about the bundle, but I am finding it very, very useful for inventory management. The only thing I would say is kind of annoying is you can't choose which item to pull out. It's always the most recent one, which, I don't know. I can work with it, but it would be better if it wasn't like that. Because if I want to get the crafting table, I've got to take out a torch, then the pork chops, and then, you know what I mean? I've got to go through it all. So that's the only time it's a little annoying. Honestly, I don't know why I don't use my mob switch. I've got an idea, because I'm sick of the mobs interrupting me all the time. And my plan to stop it is such an easy fix. I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner, because we're in the new update, remember? And in the new update, ender pearls load chunks. I feel like it's going to be daytime by the time I finish this. But yeah, this is my old mob switch, which originally was inside spawn chunks until they made them smaller. It stopped mobs from spawning, and I could switch it on and off with this button. So if I go ahead and dig a hole that is 8 blocks deep, add a soul sand, and then place a bunch of ice, then we end up with a nice little water chute. And if I throw an ender pearl down, that ender pearl should be loading this chunk. I'm pretty sure that's how the game works. I'm also curious, if I reload the game, will the ender pearl disappear? No, it doesn't. It's still there. Okay, I'm sure they used to disappear, so I think that's updated, but I can't quite remember. I also find it funny that it did indeed become daytime before I even got to set up the stasis chamber. But most importantly, the problem should now be solved. We'll find out tonight if mobs are no longer spawning. And in the meantime, I'm going to use 5 iron from this farm. You may also be wondering, SB, why is there a lever here in a crafter? You'll have to find out why for a future farm. You may also be able to see the compost in the composter. If we go in here, we've got 1 piece of bone meal. It's better than nothing, isn't it? You might as well use the poppies for something. And the reason I needed the iron was because this farm does require a minecart. A chorus flower is slightly grown, which is good. Once it grows outwards, it'll get broken. And it did happen, apparently. And I missed it. But here's an action replay of what happened. As you can see, it broke the stem. Unfortunately, this time we only got 1 back, but a player would normally be stood here, and it would just automatically place the next one back down for you. Hopefully next time when it grows outwards, we get 2 flowers instead of 1. And that is this farm also done. I just need to add 2 items in here. And as you can see, it's all going a bit haywire. That's because I need to add something else. I'll grab some iron for it. Because I also need to add 5 stacks to this hopper. So it kind of sets it up as a timer that goes off roughly every 10 minutes. Something like that. And basically that's just to allow enough time for all of these to grow. The dispensers also need to be completely filled with arrows. What that will do is make it so that I get as many of the chorus flowers back as possible. And apparently I built this too close to the iron farm because we've got a golem ruining everything. Have I really got to take him out? All right, 1v1 me golem. I'm not even going to wear my chest plate. A couple of hits and I could be dead, but this guy, he doesn't stand a chance. Not against SB737, who can judge the reach of him absolutely perfectly. Actually, this is working. Oh, look at that. Defeated. And then I shall spawn-proof this with pressure plates. And I'll also have to spawn-proof this bit with some glass. Look at this. It's a triplet. Well, I'll grab that and continue seed farming. But of course, I've got to deal with phantoms instead. Are you kidding me, Minecraft? Is their goal just to add as many things to annoy me as they physically can? It sometimes feels like that. Anyway, the arrows are loaded up. This seed grew already. It's really, really quick, isn't it? Although I do just keep getting singles. I need one to go like in a triple or a double. Then I get more than one. At the moment, I'm just breaking even with the seeds. Or the flowers. They're called flowers, aren't they? You know what? They're easy to mix up. Oh, this time we got a few. Oh, that's fantastic. And now to focus on the next farm, which is going to be the orange one. And now, as you can see, I've got every single item right here, but not just for one build. Oh no, instead, I've got the items for the next 4 farms, which will go in these 4 squares. And as promised though, I am still going to start with the orange farm, but it just means I don't have to go back and get more materials to do the other 3 around it. And the farm to be built on here is a honeycomb one. Yeah, I've got a bee farm at spawn and stuff, but I haven't got one specifically for honeycomb. And those fellas are going to be the shears that I need as well. Yeah, it's all going to fall into place. The hoppers will collect the items, and the mud is what the flowers are going to go on. And the flowers are going to be what the bees pollinate. And since it's nighttime, that means it's the perfect time to place down all of the beehives, because the bees are not going to come out and escape. They're going to stay put in there until... Hold on a second. This is just going to annoy me if I don't make it slightly symmetrical. So... Nope, that's still wrong. There we go. Nests on the outside and the normal hives in the middle. And then these walls will make it so they definitely cannot get out. From there, I can quickly add the rest of the redstone, grab a load of iron to fill the dispensers with shears, and the farm is now done. You can hear they've all just kind of popped out. I'm hoping that means I can breed them as well from up here. Can I reach them? Oh, is the wall's making them too far out? Hang on a minute, it's working. Alrighty, yeah, I'm going to breed as many of them as I can, just because I know that not all of the beehives were full. Some of them had a couple of bees in, some have had none, some had 3. So yeah, that should really bump up the population of bees. Hopefully, they've got enough homes for them all to get into. And we should pretty quickly start getting honeycomb in there. And whilst we let them do that, that was a pretty simple farm. And so I'm going to continue that tradition and do yet another simple one. As you can see, this is the pink square, and I thought for this colour, I could make a little flower farm, a large flower farm, because I don't have a one for tall flowers. Once again, thanks to mud, it's very, very simple. Mud just basically made it so we don't have to use dirt, and we can just place hoppers under it because it's slightly smaller than a block. Great addition to the game, and it's easy to forget about it. So, these are the 4 flowers, and if I grab some bone meal from my friends over here, 4, is that all we've managed to get from the poppies in all this time? It has to be said, iron, yeah, is a little bit more successful, isn't it? But yeah, every time you bone meal a tall flower, as you can see, another one pops up. I used them all up already, but yeah, another one pops off. So with enough bone meal, you can get loads of all of these. So, I'll get the redstone on there, then quickly fly home. I still also don't know why there's a random pig in the ocean. Does anybody else know how he got there? I guess there are some questions that, you know what, you just don't ask. Next, I'll grab plenty of bones, load up the machine, and just watch the flowers pour in. Just look at it. The chest is filling up nicely. In fact, the hoppers it's so much, the hoppers can barely keep up with it all. And with another farm checked off, we can next move on to the cyan farm. You'd think the cyan concrete is in the cyan shulker box, but no, it's not. But there's a clue as to what the next farm is going to be. But for now, I'll just focus on getting all of the concrete placed down, and then I can begin building up the rest of it. As you've no doubt guessed at this point, it is going to be a sniffer farm. One sniffer is not really going to be great for it, but it will be a start. And it will technically work. I'd just like to have way more in it than one, otherwise it's going to be a very, very slow sniffer farm. And the goal of it is to get me pitcher pod seeds and torchflower seeds. There we go. I'll get more eggs later, but it is technically another farm checked off the list. And I have to say, it's amazing how many farms you can do when you actually have all the materials prepared. What's going on with this farm, by the way? We got 1 seed back from it and 10 chorus fruit. Yeah, it's a lot better when the player's in the minecart, that's for sure. And the same with this chorus flower farm. It's a lot better when the player is here placing down the stuff. I was meant to put a roof on there and I never did. But in reality, that's a pretty small farm. That's a really small farm. I mean, that's a pretty quick and easy one. So let's build a big one that's not so easy to build. It's going to require all of this stained glass and a lot of yellow concrete, because this farm is going to be a golden apple one. And the fact that there's quite a bit of underwater building makes me really glad that I now have respiration 3 on my helmet. Yeah, it just really makes life so much easier. This room is now complete. The only issue is it's full of water, which, yeah, is a problem. So I'm going to start by creating a bit of a roof of blocks to get rid of the water up here. And then I can try and do the same down at the bottom as well. It's just going to be a little bit trickier. But as you can see, it was indeed doable. And thankfully, this hoe will make grabbing the sponge much easier. And so this room down here is going to be where the gold and the apples get turned into golden apples. But up here, and it's pretty important, we need an actual way to get the gold. Also, as you can see, the little sniffer has hatched. Look at him working away. And so the initial plan is to slightly build up these walls and then put water in every corner. You'll see it doesn't quite flow to the middle. And if I then add water in some extra bits, it means that everything will get pushed to the middle to form a square. So far, so good. And the next question is, if you want gold, how would you get that? Well, you need a lot of pigment. And for a lot of pigment, we need a load of portals, which is what the obsidian is for. And the thing that'll lure the pigmen to the middle is gonna be the turtle egg. The turtle egg, which is safely surrounded by trapdoors. And really, to make it work, I've just got to build the whole thing upwards to be about 100 blocks tall. Then there'll be plenty of portals and plenty of pigmen spawning, which means I'll get plenty of gold. So I shall get busy and get to work building the whole thing upwards. And there we go. As you can see, it is, yeah, pretty tall, 5 floors in total. And before I actually light all the portals, I want to have all of the inner workings in here complete. Right here, as you can imagine, we've got the doorway. We also have this, which is going to turn all of the nuggets into ingots, and eventually they'll go into this crafter, which will turn them into golden apples. This right here is a simple auto sorter to sort out the rotten flesh and the nuggets. And my plan right here is to use entity cramming to take out the pigmen, but to do that, as you can imagine, I'm going to need a lot of minecarts. To do that, I'm going to need a lot of iron. Don't you worry, I've got plenty. And I could have had it where they all... Oh, this is going to be annoying, isn't it, if you're going to do stupid stuff like that. Can't have them moving themselves. Oh, now they go noisy. But yeah, I could have had it where they just go into a 1 by 1 and get taken out by minecarts. Would have been smarter. But instead, we've gone for the noisy minecart method. Now I can patch that up, finish off the auto-crafter mechanisms, and that's it. We're done. I have got a little area here for 2 villagers. If I want to, I could give one of them rotten flesh to get emeralds and then one of them emeralds for apples. But I have also got another farm down the line that will bring me apples, so don't really have to worry about that. And finally, let's get this flint and steel put through its paces as we light up all of the portals. This is probably the most satisfying thing to do, isn't it? You just go like this and then fly up to the next floor. There we go. All done. Already, I'm getting pigmen. And look at that. They're falling in and dying to entity cramming. And as you can see, yeah, it's a pretty nice steady rate that we're getting them. Because I haven't taken them out, they're never going to drop any swords. It'll just be golden nuggets and rotten flesh. And so whilst I'm in the area building these other farms, that'll be running. I'll show you in action once I've got the apples farming as well. How are we getting on, Sniffer? 6 pitcher pods. Have you seriously not got me a single torchflower seed? That's kind of crazy, especially when you consider that torchflower seeds are the thing that I need to breed more sniffers. So yeah, that's kind of annoying, but don't worry, we'll be patient. And the next farm that we're going to build is the grey square. What, you may be wondering, will we be getting from the grey square? Well, it's actually an extremely cool farm. Because it holds wind charges from a breeze in stasis, so you can use them for like cannons or all sorts of stuff. It's kind of complicated, but it's also very cool. We will need to capture a breeze to make it work, but I'm sure it's going to be very doable. That's everything we're going to need, and this is probably going to be the most annoying one to build yet, but also kind of the coolest. It will also involve an iron golem, so I'm going to get him grabbed. As for getting the breeze, well, let's just say that I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. First things first, I'll start with layering up the floor with concrete. And now to get to work, adding in all of the redstone items. A lot of redstone components are done. It's very nice and compact. Yeah, I've got to get a golem in there. So I'm hoping that if I just build him and then drag it... Where are you going? Where are you going? Why? That has to be the most unnecessary walk off a ledge I've ever seen, okay? You need to come up these stairs. As I was saying, I'm hoping I can just drag him into position. No, okay, here we go. I'm pretty sure this is where I want him. I just have to place that there, and he's in, I think. Is that it? We can mine this up. Actually, a lot easier than expected. I feel like he does need protecting so mobs don't attack him, but we're not going to worry about that for now. Instead, I've just got to place down 6 more pieces of dust. And the amount of items that I put in this dropper is the amount of wind charges it will hold in stasis, and it will trap them right there for me, under here. And now I get to do the thing that I'm definitely worried about the most. That is getting the breeze right there in a minecart. It won't be easy, but I don't think it'll be super hard either. Because first things first, in this direction, I have a breeze farm, and conveniently, it's full of breezes. So hopefully, if I kind of just place down a boat and back it into the corner, you'd think that would pick one up. Maybe I've got to be a little bit riskier, and that's it. Okay, what have I done? Sorry, guys, just give me a second. And there we go. I think I can handle one of them. So let's start dragging him back. I think he's going to boost himself as well, and maybe me at the same time. But we've now made it back, and if I drag him through this portal, in theory he should be out here. Okay, that's great news. Alrighty, I have him right where I want him. So now let's drag him a little bit further this way. We want to take him as close as we can in the boat. Oh no, I've let him get out. The boat. Oh no, this is slightly a disaster. Can you guys swim? Okay, they can swim. I suppose that is a good thing. I'll just get him back in the boat. So it turns out that water is his one true weakness. And if we're in a boat together, yeah, he can't do anything. Just, yeah, being very weird behind me. It has to be said. I think for now it's a smart move to just hide him behind this island. Whoa, look at him. He's boosting himself backwards. But yeah, I'll leave him over there. Then I can grab a bunch of rails and then create a minecart track that in theory should put him in the exact correct position. Well, let's just say I really hope it does anyway, but you never quite know with this game. And whilst I'm building this, the actual design for this farm is by Hectoris919, and I think it is absolutely awesome. And I can't wait to show you it in action. We're almost done with it. Just got to get this breeze where he needs to be. Seriously, what could possibly go wrong, right? Let's start by getting this guy into the little hole that I made. Then I've just got to get him in the minecart. Perfect. He actually completely messes with the switch, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Wait, let him turn it. Right. Okay, that's it. Turn it off when you're over there, please. Perfect. Break it. Come on. Go. Turn it on. Come on. And he's off. And he's not off. He is off. Just go. Stop shooting me and just go. Please go into position. Please go into position. He might be in position or he might be damaging himself. I can't. What's going on? What? Oh, no. He's too far forward. Oh, he's shooting my golem. My golem's okay, though. He died. Well, that's not great. He went inside the observer somehow. That shouldn't be... What have I done here? Well, guys, you know what happens next. And this time, I believe there was no mistakes. Okay, he should stop attacking. Okay, if I break that... Yep, he's calmed down. He can't see anything because he is now inside a glass block. And now to show it in action. As you can see, I put 10 items into the dropper. And if I right-click this, it's going to open it up. Okay, he's not meant to shoot me. You're meant to shoot the golem, mate. There we go. He starts shooting the golem and notice how the wind charges start getting moved upwards. There we go. It's worked nicely. And out they go. And look at that. It stops it right there. We have wind charges trapped in stasis. How cool is that? It is very, very cool. Now, what I can do is... Well, I can't build up into them because they're blocking me. I can punch them if I want. So, let's say we want to punch those over there. There you go. You can do that. I can create another batch of 10 if I want to. This time I'm going to stand in the right spot so that he doesn't see me. And yeah, once again... They get sent. This time it worked properly, so there's a lot more of them, as you can see. And yeah, ultimately, I could have these hooked up to cannons or something like that. You can send them off one by one. They're just very, very cool to have. I'm only generating 10. I could generate hundreds of them if I wanted to and create something very, very powerful. And with the wind charge generator now complete, that means just 4 farms remain. And so now it's time for a nice big material collection spree to build some new farms and also link some existing ones together. Every remaining item is right here, including a bunch of lava. The golem has died. Who did this? I don't think it was this guy because he can't get anybody. I knew I should have protected him in glass. Okay, yeah. All we have left is his poor remnants. I will put another one back there at some point, but we must press on and build the next farm right here, which is a wheat farm. I know you're probably thinking, SB, you've already got a wheat farm. And whilst, yes, that is true, I've got this one where I have to manually replant them all the time. I've got this one which works by bone mealing it really, really fast. And I've got my Tower of Slavery. I mean, my Tower of Employment. But the villagers, they get stuck. And when they collect up the wheat, they just turn it into bread. As you can see. So it's good for getting bread, but not for getting wheat. So that is why I've come up with this new plan to add an AFK wheat farm to the area. Which will be great because whilst I'm here farming all these other items, they'll be getting me wheat as well. And wheat's just useful for like packed mud, target blocks, stuff like that. Yeah, always useful to have loads of wheat, which is why I'm adding a farm for it. As you can see, all this water is in the way, so I'm going to try and sponge it all out of here. And why is it always raining? I do not feel like in this video it has rained so much. It's literally like being in England, this. This minecart track is going to have a hopper minecart, kind of like over there. I wonder if we've actually got any torchflower seeds, by the way. But yeah, kind of like over there. And it will be collecting up all of the wheat as a villager harvests it. How exactly will we make it so the villager doesn't pick up the wheat? Well, you'll soon find... Okay, I don't want you to go that way. But yeah, you'll soon find out the mechanics on how that will be made to work. And it's because of this minecart track that I'm only going to do one layer. If I want to do multiple layers, I'd have to have multiple tracks. So, just going to go for one for now, which should be a pretty solid rate still for me. Especially since all the other farms will nicely be running at the same time. There we go. Mission accomplished. And minecart set off. As you would expect, this is all going to be farmland, but we are also going to need to include waterlogged blocks so that it will actually stay hydrated. And the good thing about doing that is we're right by the ocean, so it's not like water is particularly in short supply. Now to till the ground, add some glass walls, and kidnap a villager. In fact, we're taking 2. In fact, I've changed my mind. That was a complete accident. I only meant to get rid of one of them. Okay, right. Take 2. You know what? I'll take him from the villager breeder. Now, before we can release him into the farming world, we need to fill up his inventory so that he can't pick up the wheat that he's collecting. He can only collect the seeds, which he can then replant. Okay, his inventory is now full, it would seem. So I can get busy planting, and I'll even bone meal up a load of it for him. And whilst I wait for him to stop being a cartographer and embrace his new job, I'm going to begin building the red section. Looks like this guy's finally embraced his way of life too. That's good, because it means we're finally getting wheat from this farm. That's it. Keep up the good work, mate. And this bit right here is purely decorational, but it's also very on theme with the farm because we're going to be making a lava one. And yes, once again, I know that I have got one of these, but like I said, it's more important to have loads of farms together when it's a farm that requires a player nearby to function. So that's my thinking behind putting one here as well. Whilst all these other farms are running, we can be getting lava. Lava, which is a very useful commodity. And it looks very cool for decoration too. Around the outside are the cauldrons that are going to be filled with lava. And we also need actual lava above so that the dripstone below can be filling the cauldrons. There we go. It's also kind of important that this chest that's connected to the dropper is absolutely full of buckets just to keep it replenished as you're emptying them. And I'll tell you what else is important, that there is actually dripstone above the cauldrons. Otherwise, they'll never fill up. And so that is yet another farm checked off the list. There's now just 2 to go. And I really want to know, have we got torchflower? We have got torchflower seeds. So I'm going to take those, use them to breed the sniffers, and then I can take the egg which has popped out. There we go. And I'll then instantly double the rates of this farm. Now, this farm here is going to link to the iron farm and the golden apple farm. But before I build that one, there's one more that I'd like to do, which involves green concrete for a bamboo farm. And similar to the sugarcane farm, yes, I do have one of these at spawn. But again, it only works if I'm in the area near it. As you can see, we've got loads of bamboo that just isn't being harvested. I think, again, the hopper minecarts have all disappeared. So a much more safer and consistent one next to all of the other farms will just make my life easier because, again, bamboo is very, very useful. And just like with the flower farm, thanks to mud, it is very easy to make one of these. Because any bamboo that grows will land back on here, the hoppers will pick it up and send it into these 2 chests. So I shall get all of the shoots planted down. And yeah, basically anytime any of these break, they go into the hoppers. Perfect. The entire thing is complete. And as you can see, there's just observers around. And when they detect something growing, it extends all of the pistons in the entire area. And as you can see very quickly and easily, bamboo is coming through. I also need to get rid of all these. Look at them. There's about 50 of them in here. Come on, guys. Get out of there. We've also completely run out of space for all of the sugarcane in the storage. As you can see. Okay, actually, to be honest, we've got a lot of sugarcane there. I could definitely get that going and fill it up with paper. Oh, brilliant. Okay, not with sugar. What's that all about? I think it's fixed itself. Yeah, we don't have to worry too much about it crafting sugar anymore. It's slightly flawed is my design somehow, isn't it? I don't know how. But anyway, I'm going to make use of the bundle to save a little bit of space. Then grab a bunch of the sugarcane and drop it off at home. It's very nice, isn't it, to actually have some stocks in for once. And it also means I can drop off a few of the other items that I no longer need as well. And if you'd like to see the lava farm in action, all I gotta do is press this button. As you can see, they're nicely moving around. And I can just stand here and keep using the buckets. And as you can see, any buckets of lava I get go into this hopper and fill up the chest. Fantastic. I really feel like we've got a proper hub of useful farms here, haven't we? But a very, very important one is still ahead. Getting rid of the water is a little annoying. But yeah, it is a lantern farm, which is something I don't really seem to use enough of in my world. I always use torches or glowstone or something like that, just because lanterns are generally annoying to get. But if I farm and process all the materials and put them in a crafter, then unlimited lanterns is very, very doable. Down here is where all the inner workings of the redstone part of this farm are going to be. And as you probably know, lanterns are made from torches and iron nuggets. The iron nuggets will come from over there, and they're going to come up a water chute right here. And as for torches, well, we need a way to get sticks and also charcoal. And so right here, I'm creating a TNT-powered dark oak tree farm, because they give all the items I need, plus apples, which can then go to the golden apple farm. Yeah, this really is the farm that links everything together. Up here is the little mechanism that will drop down the TNT. And round here, I needed an item that was blue that has a higher blast resistance than just concrete. So I went for diamond blocks. Yeah, building with diamond blocks for a farm just because they're blue, I feel like that's a bit of a flex. But now, if I use the note block, you can see the TNT comes down, and this is going to push upwards just as it blows up. And if an item is pushed just as it's blown up, its blast resistance goes to 0. Which means that more of a dark oak tree will also get blown up. And as you can see, it's getting me sticks, it's getting me logs, and it's getting me apples. And it's getting me saplings too if they would just drop down. And so now I'm going to build the auto crafter that's going to make the torches, the auto sorter which will separate out the sticks, logs, and apples, and finally the crafter mechanism which will actually make the lanterns. And if you're wondering why I've placed down so much obsidian, it's to stop the TNT from blowing everything up. So this is the sorter for the apples, this one for the logs, and finally this one for the sticks. So I'll quickly go ahead and use this, and any items I get can just go into this chest. And as you can see, they're going into the system and into the crafter. And of course, to actually craft those lanterns, we're going to need iron nuggets. And this chest is full of them. If I was to flick this lever, then it would start sending the nuggets down here into this water chute, which I'm now about to build. Perfect. That's all of the glass down. Then I'm just going to put down a random block. I'm also going to try and not drown. I should be okay, but I'll try not to. Yeah, I'm going to put down a random block so that when I mine it up, it'll actually remove the water. Because, yeah, loads of source blocks are not going to work for this. And then by placing down signs and packed ice, I can successfully push items along. And there you have it. The iron nuggets will come down here, flow all the way over to that soul sand you can just about see. And then they'll be flung upwards and into this hopper. So I've put a bunch of torches in the middle of this crafter just to get it going. Then if I flick this, it'll be turning all of these ingots into nuggets, as you can see. And they're flying upwards. Look at that. With the trapdoors, I can actually see them go up. They're going into this chest and into the crafter where the lanterns can be produced. Already it's full of nuggets. Once this hopper is full of torches, we'll start to get lanterns in there. I'll also get this turned off. Yeah, it produces a ridiculous amount of the nuggets. In other news, yeah, I should have turned this off a little bit sooner, because now we're just getting sugar and paper. And now the only remaining thing to do to complete absolutely everything is to dig down here and to connect this storage for the apples to the hoppers over there. I don't think I'll quite have enough, but we might as well try to make a bit of a start. And by crafting a few more, it is done. And that means that all 16 farms are completed, one for every single colour. What a cool project this has been. And what's that? My elytra nearly broke? Oh, well, no need to worry. I'll just push this button and pretty much straight away get loads of XP to mend it up. Yeah, this is definitely quicker than my gold farm. So as you can see, the charcoal comes through, it makes torches, the torches make lanterns. When the apples head through here, they go all the way under to this chest where we get golden apples. I'm getting plenty of wheat, loads of bamboo. The Sniffer farm's working well. Everything's just doing fantastic. Look at that. We've got loads of honeycomb. I'm so pleased with the amount of farms we've got here. And without a doubt, they are all very, very useful indeed. So yeah, 16 farms, one for every single colour, has been completed. So thank you for watching. And don't forget to go to sb737.store to check out my new merch.